everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and I'm sharing with you another page in my junk journal. I made this junk journal at the beginning of the year with the idea that I was going to journal in it every day, and I would have a peaceful time in the morning where I would go to my studio and I would work in this journal and play soft music and have a good calm start to the day. That hasn't really been happening. Things have gotten a little bit too crazy, and I have got kind of out of the practice of doing the journal in the morning. So it did not even last an entire month. But I'm going to try to do better. As soon as things calm down and everything is cool, I will get back to this practice. I really need serenity in my life, and that's what it was all about. So this isn't timely. This video is going to come out later than when I actually made it because I have some other things I need to publish, and just didn't get this edited. But I made this page the morning after my first cousin passed away, and that's what the page is about. It was working through my feelings and my sadness and my fear. He passed away from complications of COVID. And although I know other people, I have other acquaintances who passed from COVID, or I know people whose relatives have passed. This was the first person in my family, someone that I grew up with, that has had a major impact, and someone that I know personally. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's always sad, and it's sad. We feel sad for other people. We feel sad for, ourselves. But for some reason, this one just seemed worse. It was unnecessary, really. It This whole COVID thing is just has this political implications that should have nothing to do with people's health. And my cousin suffered from that. He suffered because of political stuff, and not because he was sick or had any health issues. He was healthy. He went hiking all the time and went to the lake. And I mean, he wasn't sick. He wasn't overweight. He didn't have diabetes. He wasn't old. He was 2 years older than me. And yeah, it just really, it was tough. So a way to deal with things, if I want to just sit quietly without someone asking me to do this or needing to go do that or feeling like I have this list of things I need to get done, I can sometimes escape to my studio and work on something. So I picked colors that I thought fit the mood of the page, some indigo, some shading gray. I got out some fluid products basically, and the page started out as printed paper that two pieces have been glued together, so to try to make it a little bit more sturdy. When I put together this journal, I had all these really papers I don't need on my desk anymore because they have notes or they're printed from something else, or all the paper in this book was things that were sitting on my computer desk. It all piles up, it just piles up. So when I had these lighter weight papers, printer paper, I just glued them back to back when I put them in, to make them a little bit more sturdy. So that's what it's made out of. So I put some gesso on first, started out with gesso to just kind of bolster the page and make it a little bit more sturdy, because I did plan to use high flow, golden high flow, fluid acrylic ink, these types of more fluid products. If you have an absorbent paper like that, you could get yourself into trouble. So I started with the gesso, and then I was working with those products just in a paintbrush, put them out on my paper palette and just mixed them a little bit, not a lot, but I wanted, I started out with really light colors and then moved to darker colors. Just making these shapes basically is what I did. And then I moved on to some collage, and I have this new cutting tool. You see things on Instagram and you're like, oh, I need that. This one actually came from Amazon, and I'll go ahead and I'll link it below the video if you want to find it. When I see something on Instagram that I think I want, I go and try to find it on Amazon because I do pay for Prime, and so I want that free shipping. And the thing on Instagram isn't going to have free shipping, so I try to find it because pretty much everyone sells their products through Amazon at this point. So it's a cutter that rotates, has a cutting blade that turns around and around, so you're supposed to be able to make curvy shapes with it. And so that's what I use to cut my scraps of paper into more like curvy shapes that imitate what I had on the page. Kind of sort of rectangles with curved lines, and also kind of frame type shapes that, like picture frames. I was thinking about all the pictures that my cousins have been sharing of my cousin who passed, and, and that's all that's left, the pictures. So those were the shapes that came to me. And then I also had this piece of tissue paper that had some hearts on it, and I was thinking about, um, I mean, ultimately, hearts mean love and family to me, and it is a shape that I enjoy. I just don't use it as often as other shapes because it seems to have this connotation of being about romantic love, but hearts are really just about any type of love. So then I decided to bring in a little bit of a yellow glaze in places to give some relief from all this gray blue type colors. I needed something else, something other color, but I didn't want it to be strong. I didn't want it to be bright. So I used a glaze that has kind of like a yellow ochre color to it. I think it might be called tea or something like that. I don't know, but it's one of the ones from Seth Apter's shop that are made for him by Altadine. So then I'm coming back in with some white, high flow titanium white to add a few more marks. Um, it just makes it more interesting to look at. And so I'm using a brush and making uh, almost kind of highlights, maybe, but really it's just more marks, more lines, more shapes, more filling out of certain places. And I continue to mix that very fluid white with the shading gray, which is a fluid color, as well as the indigo. They're all high flow golden paints, and that's a very, very loose paint. Still has a lot of pigment. It's not watery. It's not it's not translucent because it's watery. It is, in fact, the the white is white. I mean, it's opaque. It just has extra something in there to make it a little bit more runny. Um, but the shading gray color is a transparent color. So you get that variety adding the transparent color in there. I also deepened up some of the glazed areas by using the brush with that same glaze, what was left on the paper, so that it got a little bit more punchy in some places. Giving it a good dry because I'm going to move on to some other products. This is Gloss Spray from Dina Wakley in the night color, which I love the color. The stupid thing won't spray. I just have so many problems with sprays. And so instead of using it as a spray, I use it as a mark making tool by dragging the plastic straw on the inside around. And I also sometimes use it to drip. It wasn't dripping very well. I waited too long, but it's a great color. That night color is a great color. It just doesn't spray anymore. And I don't have the patience quotient right now to clean it out and make it spray. So I also have a titanium white Liquitex acrylic ink that I decided to use in the same way. It has a dropper in it, so you can use that to kind of drag and draw around and make marks with it as well. And it's kind of fun. These all are just like fluid, runny fluid products that are all acrylic, but are in a form of liquid, I guess. I can't even talk today. Really, I just don't even seem to be able to talk. So I let that drip a little bit and become a little bit, you know, run down the page a little bit. Then I decided I couldn't just have 2 hearts, I needed 3 hearts. So I found this piece of paper that has some dots on it, which I thought were interesting. And I cut out the heart, and then I ended up using the piece that I cut it out of as well, because there was a lot going on in that corner, and I just wanted to kind of frame just some of the marks with the little extra piece of collage. So I thought that would work, and it did. I got some letter stamps out, little tiny letter stamps, and some navy blue, dark blue ink. It's a StazOn ink pad. I think it might be called Midnight or something like that. It's dark blue to match with everything else here. And stamped the word loss. And yes, there is loss, but there is also fear from this experience for me, because I'm close in age to my cousin, and I don't know, just fear. I'm scared. I'm scared because I don't want anyone else to pass. Not anyone that I want to hear about, not anyone that I know, not anyone that I love. I hope everyone, every single one of you, is staying safe and, protecting yourself from this ridiculousness. I know it's hard. It's hard to stay inside and, wear this stupid mask that feels like a muzzle and not interact with other people. It's really, really hard, and it just keeps dragging on and longer and longer. But just know that you are not alone in feeling disgusted by it and tired of it, but we just have to keep persevering and pushing through it, because I don't want this sadness and loss to happen to you. I do not want that. So I finished up with some pencil, some more Posca pen, just, kind of clarifying my lines and adding a few more. And I went around the edges of the page like I sometimes do with some ink to close it in. Sorry to be a bummer today. I hope that you enjoyed the art, and that you stay well and stay safe. Be sure to give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave me a comment or question. Subscribe if you haven't already. And, all those things. And thanks for supporting my channel. Bye-bye.